so should we, so should the nation know about salmon. I'm a fisherman. I started commercially fishing in 1965 as a deckhand for my dad. And he told me, just keep the lead line straight, Tom. That's all you have to do. And pretty soon I was pulling that net in. And he finally gave me the cork line, and he pulled on the lead line. But I enjoy fishing. Fishing is what I do. Fishing is what I love. Fishing is nutritious. It feeds the world. It feeds people with heart problems. Yay, hunt some more. And I probably it's a highland wetland, and that's what it is. When Northern Dynasty came up there and shared their hydrology report with us, you could see that the dye that they dropped into the water went everywhere. So basically it was the break-even point to go into the Iliamna Lake area as well as into the Nushagak area. When you read their own science reports, you will say, no, that mine cannot be built safely. It cannot be. Their own science says that. Another 200 thousands of years if we protect the spawning beds. And that's what we're trying to do. Because salmon is life. Salmon is nutritious. Salmon is important to all of us. If you're going to have an advisory committee, make sure you include us. The folks that care, the folks that are concerned, the folks that want to preserve that natural resource. And we must. Do you think that a mine can be safely built in the headwaters of Bristol Bay?
No!
Not no, but hell no!
Hell no!
Hell no!
Hell no!
Yes. Thank you all again for coming out and listening to us and helping us and preserving the salmon of Bristol Bay that belongs to us here, nationally, internationally. Let's protect our salmon.
Everybody give it up for Tommy once more. Thank you so much, Tommy, for those wise words. As he said, the Pebble Limited Partnership was having an advisory committee meeting here today. Their first initial advisory board meeting, it was a closed-door private meeting that Bristol Bay unilaterally said, no, we will not participate in a discussion in how to build the Pebble mine in Bristol Bay. You all scared them away and they moved to a different location. They are literally hiding from Alaskans on the discussion of Pebble mine. And the next person we have to speak to you today is an amazing advocate, the president of Bristol Bay Economic Development Corporation, Mr. Norm Van Vactor. Give it up for Norm.
Am I taking my life in my hands getting on this stand here? This is awesome, folks. Thanks a ton for coming out. As Lana indicated, I'm with the Bristol Bay Economic Development Corporation. For 32 years, I was directly involved in the management of the comp fish industry in Bristol Bay. Bristol Bay has been my passion for a long time, and I was blessed to be asked by the BBDC, the Bristol Bay Economic Development Corporation, to join them just about 5 years ago. I've been working on this issue for about 15 years now, and you know, it's just been unbelievable to me to see the passion and the resiliency of the region in their unequivocal opposition to the issue. It's just, it really tears at the heart. But it's been frustrating as hell that we've had to go on for 15, 16, 17 years to deal with what to me is just such a common sense issue.
Amen.
You know, for a decade and a half, we keep hearing these promises. We're going to give you the plan. We're going to give you the plan. But for a decade and a half, we've been dealing with basically lies and deceit. When is it going to come to an end? After literally hundreds of public meetings, millions of public comment, EPA was prepared to make a decision and had a decision. And instead it's been contested and now put on the shelf with no such thing as a public process. And it's just disturbing to me that we have to revisit this whole conversation once again. I'll share with you that about 15 and a half years ago, in an office in Dillingham, we had a little contest to come up with a logo for fishermen to fly on the masts of their radios that basically signified our concern and opposition to this proposed project. And a young lady, a young lady by the name of Nina Sam was the winner of the contest. So Nina Sam is the one that came up with this very simple logo that sadly states a very deep concern that is in the heart of all of us. Bristol Bay just had, once again, just an absolutely incredible year. Almost 58 million fish. Unbelievable. Yeah. You know, 37 million fish were contributing to the commercial harvest. It boggles the mind. The Nushiak River system, one of multiple systems that will be directly impacted by this mine, just set an all-time record for the best year ever in the history of the commercial fishing. You know, I'm tired. I'm tired after 15 years of having to talk about this and speak to this. But you know what? On a cold, wet Alaskan day, it warms me up and fills me up with so much energy to see you folks out here to stand for what's right and what is the proper thing to do. More Pebble now. So with that, you want me to introduce the next speaker? I'm gonna give the stage to somebody who is equally passionate and much more eloquent than myself. Rick Alpert. Rick's been on all sides of the issue. We're blessed to have him. Rick is a former state Senate president and long-serving legislator, as well as lodge owner, trapper, and guide. Rick?
Of course, we all have to be thankful for each other because we are the reason that Pebble Mine is not moving dirt today. It has been an amazing coalition of people, from right to left, young to old, that have held together to say no. And it has been much more than just a decade of deceptions. Pebble has been telling us things that weren't true over and over again. The 2006 plan, the 2008 plan, the 2012 plan, the statements by Anglo that we will not build this unless we have local support. They know they don't have local support. They go one place and they try to buy a community, but they don't have Alaskans and they don't have Bristol Bay residents by 90%. The fact is that salmon are life to Bristol Bay. They feed everything from the tiniest microorganisms to the largest brown bear. They feed the heart, the soul, and the faith of everybody there, and they feed the dreams of people worldwide, as well as providing more than half the red salmon to a place as far away as London, England. They are a machine that is amazing in the great creations that we see around us. The fact is that worldwide, the nutrients of the land are washing into the oceans, over-enriching the oceans. There's one thing that goes backwards. salmon leave the size of your little finger. They come back with tons and tons of nutrients. They feed everything. They are anti-gravity machines. And if there's any law that Pebble has to go around to build this mine, it's the law of gravity. The fact is, they can't possibly do it. And there's 2,000 years of history that say every mine of this type, in any kind of a wet climate, has destroyed that which is around it. It can't be done. They went out and they tried to put together a Keystone process a decade ago. For those of us who are old enough to remember the Keystone Cops, that's what it looked like. It looked like a mockery, and what they're doing today is a mockery of the public process. Because they're hiding, they're doing it in private. They can't put a plan on the table so we know the details of what they're proposing. They talk about a smaller mine when they brag to their stockholders about the biggest mine on the planet. They can't dig a 4,000-foot hole and not have the water run into the hole and drain everything around it and become a toxic lake. We see little examples all over the world. There's examples that go back almost 2,000 years in toxic drainage in England that was mined by the Romans. It's not something that can be done. It's not something that should be done. And this is the last greatest place left on Earth that has a complete salmon ecosystem. This is no place to experiment, and we all should be thankful for each other, because this is an effort that's going to go on for a long time until Bristol Bay is permanently protected.
Protect Bristol Bay!
Protect Bristol Bay! Thank you so much, Rick. Amazing words by some amazing people who have been in this fight for a really long time. A really quick reminder. There are some people walking around the crowd with clipboards asking you to sign letters. Please sign that letter. Bristol Bay has been fighting for those permanent protections for over a decade, and because of the change in politics, we're now facing an EPA that's trying to roll back those protections. And they need to hear from you loud and clear that Pebble Mine is not welcome in Bristol Bay. So please sign that letter before you leave today. Our next speaker is an amazing woman. She is the Alaska Director of Trout Unlimited and has been in this fight for over a decade as well. Please welcome Miss Nellie Williams.
Wow. You guys are incredible coming out in this rain, and that is one thing that continues to give me a lot of hope in this fight, is that Alaskans are brave and they are willing and ready to show up 1,000 times, and we'll say it 1,000 times again, that Pebble is the wrong mine in the wrong place. That is right. These guys who have spoken today are some of the most incredible and inspiring people that I know, and have the pleasure of working with them for the past many years. I also get to work alongside of a lot of the tourism business and lodge owners whose livelihood depends on salmon coming back every year. And if Pebble goes in, the salmon aren't going to come back, and that is unacceptable to the businesses and the people and the communities and the families who absolutely depend on salmon. So the frustrating thing about all of this is that we have said time and again, millions of people, dozens of public meetings, communities across Bristol Bay and across Alaska have said this is the wrong mine in the wrong place. Still, Pebble is not getting the message. So we're going to say it a couple more times today, and you guys have to help me, okay? So there's going to be a couple mines. The only thing you have to remember is wrong mine, wrong place. Got it?
Okay, got it.
All right. Let's do this. Okay. We have Pebble. When Pebble says, we're not going to harm salmon, don't worry. We need to say, we know better. The science knows better and tells us better. And experience, history shows differently. Pebble is absolutely the
Wrong mine, wrong place!
Awesome, perfect. All right, let's keep going. All right, when Pebble said, this mine will be good for business, we say it won't be good for our business. It won't be good for the thousands of American jobs that depend on Bristol Bay salmon. And we say absolutely, Pebble Mine is
Wrong mine, wrong place!
Even better. You guys are great. Okay. When Pebble says, and this one is tricky, you guys. When Pebble, we know they're going to say it. They're going to say, we're going to come with a smaller, better mine plan. We say, nope, we're not going to fall for it, you guys. We know that that's a marketing ploy. We know that that's been said before by other mining companies, and it just leads to bigger and bigger and bigger. And they think we will forget, but we're not going to forget. And we know that Pebble will require 11 billion tons of mine waste stored at the headwaters of the world's greatest salmon fishery. And that absolutely is...
Wrong mine, wrong place!
Awesome. Okay, so rallies are not typically my thing. This is the first time I've done this, so bear with me for just a second. Okay, when Pebble promises a brighter future for Bristol Bay, we say, Pebble, open your eyes and your ears. Listen to the business owners. Listen to the elders and the tribal leaders and the community leaders and the commercial fishermen who have said time and time and time again, Pebble is
Wrong mine, wrong place!
Please open your ears. And when Pebble says, could you please come to a closed-door meeting and let us know why you oppose the Pebble mine, and let's talk about how we can build a mine in Bristol Bay, we say, no thanks, no thank you. We've stood up at dozens of community meetings, millions of people weighed in, and they've said,
wrong mine, wrong place!
Enough said, Pebble.
Woo, woo, woo.
Give it up for Nellie Williams again. Wrong mine, wrong place. We cannot change the size, the type, or the location of that mine, making it the wrong mine in the wrong place. To wrap us up, we have an amazing next speaker from the community that's closest to the Pebble deposit. The people who live right next to where they're proposing this, at the headwaters of the two last great sockeye salmon producing rivers left on the face of this entire planet. So please give it up for a long time amazing advocate to protect our way of life and our salmon for our people and for the world, Non-Dalton Tribal Council President, Mr. William Evenoff.
Thanks for coming out today, guys. This is awesome. I mean, it's pouring rain. You know, we're all standing here for the same cause. You know, it's awesome. I really appreciate this. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm William Evenoff. I'm in Athabascan from Non-Dalton. That's about 180 miles southwest of here. And that deposit is less than 20 miles away from our village. And, you know, salmon to us, it means everything. And the thing that made most sense to me was written by an anthropologist, and his name is Dr. Alan Boris. And he worked on a watershed assessment conducted by the EPA. And he noted that the Bristol Bay area supports the last remaining indigenous culture that relies completely on wild salmon runs. And that's my indigenous culture. Of the approximately 30 cultures across the world that once relied on salmon, Boris noted, there are no cultures of the other almost 30 that can today rely on wild salmon because the salmon runs have been destroyed. Only one place can cultures carry on the traditions of their ancestors, making the transition from prehistory to now. The technology changes, but the attitudes, many of the beliefs, and the impact on the culture are still there. And that's the Dina Ina and the Yupik of Bristol Bay. Thank you guys for coming out today.
For Bristol Bay. All Undercook Board's organizers, please sign that letter. You know what they are saying about us, right? That we're a bunch of crazies who don't want to sit down at the table to talk to them. Well, we have told them over and over and over again, we will not engage in a conversation about how to build a mine in Bristol Bay. No mine in Bristol Bay. No mine. The people of Bristol Bay have spoken over and over and over again. We know what we want for our future. And we're not going anywhere, and we will fight for that sustainable future full of salmon until as long as it takes. Mr. Norm Van Vactor said recently, over my dead body will this mine be developed. And thank you all for showing up today to let them know that we're not going anywhere, and there is no room for the Pebble project in the future of Bristol Bay. Thank you all so much for coming. So, sorry, I forgot, my bad. If everybody could go in this direction, we're going to pull the big blue banner right over here for a big group photo. That would be amazing. So please move this direction for the big group picture.
Blue banner this way.
Camera will be for me. So we're going this way. And someone's going to stand here and take it. So we can share with the world all your amazing faces that showed up in the rain to fight for Bristol Bay.
Hey, here's the camera lens looking this way. Big blue banner in front right here. All right, big blue banner. Too far that way. There it goes. There it goes. This way. Come back. This way. Down straight. Down straight. Keep going.
Pebble never fish first. Pebble never fish first.